Fun fact, did you know that 51% of small business owners do not pay themselves? Like they have foregone and said, I'm not going to pay myself for several months, because they were thinking that it's more important to make sure that the business is being upheld. And there are times and places for that. For example, if you're a LLR retailer, you were probably told that the first couple months of after you initially onboarded, that the first couple months when you start making sales to reinvest it so that you can actually get more items, right? So you can get more from wholesale, more from the warehouse, right? Most business owners do that. That is fine. And that's actually a really smart way to make sure that you have more volume, to make sure that you're getting the things that you need to make sure that your business is on solid running ground. But at a certain point, after 2 months, after 3 months, I was able to pay back at that point it was like $6,000, $5,000, and I was with a business partner at the time, and it took us about 2 to 3 months to be done with that, and that was a goal of ours. So many people are still dealing with their LLR debt. They're still dealing with their initial onboarding debt, and they're not able to get out of that wheel, and it's because they're continuing to put their business into debt because they're unable to pay themselves, or they're like, oh no, I don't have money for this, so I'm just going to swipe another credit card, and they're getting themselves deeper and deeper into debt. I should do a whole video about, I know that they did another video that was basically about people going bankrupt using LuLaRoe, and I just want to obliterate that video because it is just so irresponsible. Because the reason why people are in debt, the reason why people are bankrupt, the reason why people are saying, oh my goodness, I had to leave my big huge house and my Louis Vuitton bag, so now I have to go and do all these other things. Do you know why? Do you know why that happened? Is because you're being irresponsible with your money. That's not LuLaRoe's fault. It's not the bank's fault. It's your fault. Who were you listening to? Who in your mind said that would be a good idea? And why didn't you take the time to research it? Because it was coming from a trusted source. I could go on and on and on. It is one of the weakest things. You are in control of your business. Do your research, okay? And if the person you're talking to is in debt, don't listen to them, especially if that's not the life you want to lead. I'm just saying. So anyway, I would highly recommend that if you are still in debt to your business, if you are still in debt, you're still paying off your initial investment to your LuLaRoe business, stop what you're doing and go back to the drawing board, okay? Stop using that credit card, cut it up, and pay it off. That's gonna be my goal for you, okay? And if you need help with that, I'm a personal finance coach. It's something that I really love doing. I love being able to, I love budgets, I make them fun. I know that not every budget is the same for every single person, and so I really like to create budgets that are perfect for you and your personality. So definitely make sure that you contact me if you're interested in more about that. All of that information is down below. Moving on, we're talking about how to pay yourself, because I could get real heated, okay? So if you're not paying yourself, guys, if you're not paying yourself, you do not have a business. You have a hobby. If you are not paying yourself, you do not have a business, you have a hobby. That's a very expensive hobby that you keep going into debt over. Just saying. Okay, I'm done. Also, if you are working towards something, this is something I have to make sure that's very clear, because I did this in an accountability group one time and I said that quote, and someone goes, well, I'm not paying myself, but I have like $5,000 on my MyFunds card because I want to use that money to pay for a car in cash. Girl, you're paying yourself. Whatever your goal is, whatever the thing that you're going towards, if you're actually making progress towards that goal, you're good. You're good. You're great. You're golden. My job, or my goal, is that I want you to be on a schedule. I want you to be in a regimented goal of saying that I'm going to pay myself consistently over time, not just once every blue moon or whenever there's money lying around, I'll just go ahead and pay myself because it's Christmas and why not, but actually putting yourself on a schedule so you know for a fact how much you're bringing in. So don't use the excuse that you don't, because I hear this all the time, that you don't make enough, that you don't sell enough to pay yourself. That's bull. Don't do that to yourself. Please do not do that to yourself. If you want to take yourself seriously as a business owner, you need to put yourself on a routine and pay yourself. Keeping it real, okay? So the faster you get yourself into a habit of paying yourself, the more successful you're going to be. And when your business begins to grow, it's not going to grow because of sales tier. I'm gonna have to explain that. I feel like I'm gonna have to like break it down for somebody. It's not gonna grow because of sales tier. It's gonna grow because of profits. and you want your business to grow in profit. You don't want your business necessarily to grow in sales tier. So many people, let me explain, so many people, again, go into debt, go overboard to get the sales, right? To get the boxes, to sell. And they might be insanely amazing and do really great at selling. Sell all the things. They sell all the things and they're like, woo, that's awesome. And then they take a whole lot, a chunk of that profit, put it back towards all the warehouse stuff, do it all over again. Then they're sitting there going, yeah, I'm so excited. I make 50K in sales. And then when I ask them the question, how much do you pay yourself? And there's crickets because they don't pay themselves. Is that really a profitable business? Really think about that. Are you really in a profitable, successful business? If you had employees, if you were the CEO and you had employees, and yeah, they were able to sell everything, but nobody got paid, would they come back to work for you? No, you wouldn't do all of that work for nothing. Don't treat yourself like that. You're doing an awesome job in your business. You might be selling a ton of stuff, but if you are not putting yourself into a habit of paying yourself, this is just a hobby. This is just something fun to do. This is a lot of money to spend on something that's fun to do. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Get yourself into a habit, no matter if you're making 500 in sales or whether you're making 100K in sales. I don't care. You need to put yourself into a habit of actually paying yourself and making sure that you know where your money is going. So we don't want our businesses to just grow in sales tier. I have a whole nother video on that I'm gonna make, because sales tiers are something that we might focus too much on. I think that there's a shift that needs to happen there, because we're trying to get to the next shift, and I'm like, I don't care about that. How much are you paying yourself? That, in the end of the day, when I go to sleep at night, I want to be able to know that I paid myself. So the profit, what I use to actually help myself with paying myself and making sure I stay accountable is actually a method called Profit First from Mike Michalowicz. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I've said it wrong in the last 2 videos. I don't know. But if you haven't read his book, definitely go read it. It's a great read. Really great. It's taking the business world by storm. I've heard so many different videos that reference him, but it's because it works. It's because it really challenges our viewpoint on how we actually pay ourselves. Most of the times, and in his book, he talks about most of the time people have an opposite viewpoint of things. We make the sales, we purchase, and we pay our bills and all that good stuff, and then whatever's left over is what we pay ourselves. But he's like, no, how about we switch it around? What if we pay ourselves first? Then we start putting things into categories and we save up for things. And then out of that excess of what's left over, out of what we paid ourselves, out of that excess is what we operate our business on. It's brilliant. It really is. Does it cause you to be a little bit more cautious about how you spend on things? Yes, but that's the point. That's the point. You are not as profitable as you think you are. You might be buying a ton of warehouse product every single week, every single day. And you might be doing it for the hustle. I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm going to sell a lot of that, so I just need to keep doing it. But if you're not making profit, are you really a business? Are you really a profitable, scalable business? Really think about that. So if you are making it a goal to pay yourself first, and then whatever's left is what you use, you might find that you don't have as much money as you originally had because you were just pushing it all towards your warehouse. You might notice that I only have, $400 or $500 left to spend on warehouse stuff. Yup, you do. So you got to really work hard, because this is where your business is. Now you do have some options. You can say, oh, maybe I don't want to pay myself this much quite yet. Maybe I want to work my way up to that. Maybe I want to work my way up to making sure that I'm operating, that my business can operate within these expenses. Regardless of what it is, you need to put yourself on a habit of paying yourself, okay? In his book, he talks about percentages of what should go where. So he thinks that's whatever's coming in. So let's just imagine that you have your My Funds. So where your My Funds is, that's your 100%. And what I like to do is I like to do it for LuLaRoe. It's real different because our business can fluctuate in 2 days, right? There might be a launch and we're like crap, and then we spend a lot of money, then we got to work our way up, and it's cray. So what I would suggest for LuLaRoe retailers to do is every couple of days you need to sit down at your desk and you need to do a spreadsheet or something along those lines to make sure that you're actually paying yourself, to make sure that money's coming in. Now I know There are so many of you who are like, oh, I really don't like this. I really don't like spreadsheets. I don't like looking at numbers. I don't like any of that stuff. Honey, you're a business owner. And if you are the CEO of your business and you can't afford somebody else to do this for you, you got to learn how to do it yourself. This is just a part of it, right? Even if you're doing it for fun money, even if you're doing it for vacation, you still need to make sure that you're actually making sure that your business is actually running on a great run, but also that you're actually paying yourself so that you actually can put money towards those things that you want on a consistent level. Here's how I feel about bookkeepers. So bookkeepers are really great. They're awesome. One of the things that I heard, and I mentioned her in a video before, I took Rachel Hollis's coaching course for the whole year, and it was phenomenal. Like completely just blew my mind. With the stuff that she was saying, she really brought the fire, you know what I mean? So it was really great. One of the things that she said was when she was building her business, she mentioned that she wanted to know how to do everything, because the last thing she wanted was to have somebody else come in that she hires and she doesn't know their skill set. She doesn't know what it means when they say certain things because she's never actually worked in that arena. She wanted to at least have some knowledge. So being able to write emails, even though that's a part that I absolutely hate. I really don't like writing emails. I don't like writing descriptions. I don't like it. But if eventually I want to pay someone to do that because it's something I'm not really good at, I do at least want to have some knowledge of what's happening and some knowledge of what I want it to look like. So if you are, especially with your money, you don't want to leave that to some random person who has no clue what they're doing with your money. You don't know their credentials. You're paying them all this money. And you're like, whatever, I'm getting paid every month. But you need to know, you need to be very aware of how much of what you're doing, of how your money is going in and out, the cash flow of your business. You need to have control over that. So I would suggest that you need to make sure that you sit down and actually make yourself look at the numbers and then go from there. Every couple of days, if you're a little retailer, if you're a normal business owner, and you have more consistency in your sales and you don't really have bills coming out all the time, and you could do it once a week. I do mine every 2 weeks. So anyway, so you're gonna sit down every couple of days and you're gonna look at your My Funds. How much have you made in the last couple of days? And that is what you're going to go ahead and divvy out. Now, if you're interested in a spreadsheet that I use that actually helps you understand warehouse orders and all that good stuff, make sure you check out my video. It'll be linked below that talks about your spreadsheets. It talks about how to divvy all of that stuff up. Okay. So 5% would go towards your profit, and that's a profit that just kind of goes on the side. So we have one account, so I have like several accounts in my bank account, and we call them our sinking funds, and 5% goes to my profit. So at the end of the day 2, I've sold a bunch of stuff, I look at it, 5% goes to profit. That's simply just for a rainy day or when I want to give myself a raise or whatever. That's where it goes. The other one is my owner's comp, and that's my salary. So owner's compensation is your salary, and that's going to be 50%. So there's 5% that goes to profit for a rainy day. There's 50% that goes to owner's comp. That's coming to me, okay? Now you can always change that. You can say, I want it to be 30% and change the percentages around, but please be aware that you as the business owner need to get paid, okay? So don't give yourself 10%. Give yourself more like 30%, 40%, that's fine too, okay? Especially since we want to have more money for rainy day, or we want to have more money for operating expenses, because warehouse can be very expensive. So for taxes, you need to do 15%. So taxes is 15%. That is what you would put in another account specifically for taxes. But if you say to yourself, well, I don't really pay a lot in taxes because I don't make that much in my business, great. When tax season comes around and you don't owe anything, that's extra money for a rainy day that you can put towards another account. That's extra money that you can give yourself as a raise, whatever you want it to be, but it's a really great way to just start saving money. And then the last one is your operating expenses, and that's going to be 30%. So 30% goes to your operating expenses, and that's what keeps your business going. And that kind of gives you a really great idea of how to get your business off the ground, how to start start moving money into different categories, so then you can actually know how much do I have to spend on warehouse, how much do I have to spend in taxes, how much do I have to spend to shower my clients with gifts, and how much do I have to pay myself, right? If you're getting yourself on a schedule and you're moving money around at a consistent rate, you're going to be a better, more competent business owner. You're going to know exactly what's going on with your business. You're going to be on top of your business. More so, you're going to think about the fact that you're like, I know that I'm successful. I know I'm a successful business owner, because even though I only make 2.5K, And somebody who's looking at tiers in that perspective, they might be like, oh, okay, you did 2.5K. Good for you. That's awesome. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, girl. And I paid myself. My clients are happy. I got a good amount of clothes in my boutique, and I'm saving for things. Can you say that about your business? Right? Because who in the world can say anything about your business if you're able to do those things? If you're able to pay yourself and you're able to make sure that your family is happy, you can go to sleep at night knowing that you have completed all the things that your family, that complete your why, that complete the reason why you're doing what you're doing. If you are unable to do those things, that's where the stress comes from. That's where the, oh my gosh, I missed another launch comes from. That's where the anger of like, oh my gosh, if I don't get this launch or if I don't sell this week, I'm quitting. That's where that comes from not being on top of your business, from not being on top of your finances and not meeting those goals. So if you are constantly doing that, you're gonna have a really better outlook. I hope that helps you guys. I hope that really gives you guys some ideas. If you want more of a cheat sheet of what I just talked about, I'll have something below. Definitely make sure that you check out my Facebook group. We talk about stuff like that all the time. Ask me your questions there. That's a really great way to get in connection with me immediately. I do trainings in there, and we talk about money. We talk about how to make more money. We also just I offer different deals for my coaching services and all that good stuff. So definitely make sure that you check us out below. I'd love to see you, and I'd love to hear from you and see how you're doing. And I hope your businesses are super successful. I hope you have a really great day, and I will see you guys on the flippity flip. If you know where that's from, tell me below, because you should know. If you don't know, shame on you. See you guys later. Bye.